Hey, welcome to the Social 333 podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bentley. Today, my guest is Carlton Young. Carlton, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what do you got going on?
My name is Carlton Young. I am a husband. I'm a father. I am a man of faith. I have several communities that I build for men that are, trying to overcome the hurts and the traumas of their past that they haven't dealt with. So basically, my mission is just to help men to transform themselves, to be empowered and be equipped to be the person that they were designed to be. So that's kind of my goal and my mission. I'm an Army veteran, 6 years. I'm a PTSD and anxiety. I suffer from PTSD and anxiety. And I'm just a guy that just wants to maximize every opportunity been given since I've been given a second chance at life.
That's really interesting because I have a lot of stuff to talk to you about. Because I suffer from PTSD as well. Probably something a little different. But so you survived multiple near-death experiences, falling from a car, nearly sliding off a cliff, being shot at point blank. I mean, it's pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, when you really start to think about it, it's really wild. I didn't think about the car wrecks where when I was younger, when you're younger, you just think you're invincible. You don't think about your mortality.
Right.
But the final culmination of all those things was the gunshot wound at point blank range. And that was an experience that changed my life and shaped me into the person that I've become. I still made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I often just try to get up and say, I have another chance at life. A lot of people may or may not believe this, but I saw a dark light and I saw a bright light, and the bright light said it's not time yet.
It said that too.
Yes. And so know that it wasn't my time, meaning there was more for me to do. I definitely wanted to, maximize that opportunity. So my goal is to hear that you took everything that I gave you and you 10x what I placed in you because of your discipline, your tenacity, and your belief. So that's kind of my goal, man, and that's what drives me and motivates me.
So can I ask you about the gunshot? Was it like a robbery or something, or a beef, or
Wrong place at the wrong time, man?
Really?
Wrong place at the wrong time. A bullet doesn't have a name on it,
Wow.
And hanging with my partners, just being young,
Right.
just doing some things, and the next thing I know, I got a gun pointed at me, and I hear pow, and you hear that bang. Then you don't feel anything for maybe 30 seconds. And then I say, you shot me.
Was it burning or anything?
It's like taking like a fireplace poker
Mm-hmm.
and burning it till it's bright red, and you see the fire, and it felt like somebody just stuck that in my stomach. And it's like this burning sensation that you just want the pain to go away. So I remember saying, you shot me, and then I remember my friends rushing around to try to, see what was going on with me, and how the pain was just so intense. I just wanted the pain to go away, so I was trying to close my eyes. One of my friends was slapping me, trying to keep me awake, and I'm just like, man, if I just close my eyes, the pain will go away. And I remember them saying, stay up, young, keep your eyes open. And I'm just like, in shock. I remember the ambulance coming. I remember them putting me on the gurney. I had on a Dallas Stars hockey jersey. I had just bought it.
Wow.
Because we were going out to have fun. I was stationed at Fort Hood. I'm 22, 23 years old. I'm just young, living life. And I remember them cutting the jersey off of me and putting the oxygen over my face. And that's when I faded to black. And then, like I said, I remember that dark magnetic force like pulling me. And, I'm like, I guess this is it.
Wow.
In my psyche. And then I remember, like I said, that light that said, it's not time yet. And I just saw a bright light. And then I wake up several days later, and I'm looking at my dad sitting at the end of my bed with a Bible, reading the Bible. Some of my friends were standing around my bed, and I have tubes everywhere.
Right.
I got morphine intravenously in me. So every time I got, in a severe amount of pain, I would hit the button, knock me out. I got these tubes in me. You see blood dripping out. I got the IV for food, and I just remember all that, and just waking up and just seeing my dad in tears, and obviously disheveled, worried. But I was able to make it, even though that wasn't the only surgery I had. The initial surgery was to repair like a gunshot wound. The crazy thing about the gunshot wound, that's why I believe there's a God and I believe in faith, is because the bullet hit the only organ that repairs itself, which is the liver.
Mm.
The doctor said it barely missed my aorta. If it hits your aorta,
Yeah,
it's over.
right.
It fade to black. So it missed all the vital organs. It landed close to my spine, but it didn't paralyze me. But the surgeon didn't want to go in and remove it because he feared that if he did, it would paralyze me.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally had the bullet
Bullets
still
still
close
stuck in
lodged to my spine. So anytime I go for a physical or X-ray or something, they'll look at it like, "Do you know that you have this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's been there for
a while.
for a while now."
Right.
And so that surgery, I had a fever that they couldn't break for like a week.
Wow.
It was like over 100, between 103 and 105 every day.
Mm.
They finally broke that, and then I had to go have another surgery to remove a blood clot from my lung.
Oof.
So I have this, they call it some friends call it a gangbang zipper. So I got this line right here where my body was wide open.
Mm-hmm.
In the recovery process, I would have to or somebody would have to, when I got released from the hospital, they would have to pour saline and put gauze in there every day and tape it up until it closed back up. Mm. And then I have a scar from here around to my back where they went in and removed the blood clot from my lung.
Wow. Was that like the specific moment where you were like, okay, like I need to make some changes in my life?
Yeah. And then you got I got a praying grandmama. I got a faith based mom. My dad is is faith based, and they like, man, how many more alarms or wake up calls do you need? And I'm like, okay. And then I remember that it's not time yet, so I knew that eventually, if you play Russian roulette long enough, you're going to lose. So that was kind of the start of my metamorphosis and it changed my life.
We were just talking off air in the last interview because I just had some surgery, and I noticed, and I still do because I'm only about 60%, how genuine people are. And like when you are hurt, like I'm just not talking about like, you broke your finger or something.
Right.
I'm talking about like you're hurt, like internal organ hurt, right? Like when you're hurt like that, you can pick up on people's intentions, their genuine, if they have genuine motives.
Right.
And that's what I've kind of been experiencing is a lot of people that I just had to fire because it was just like they're stressing me out with their problems, but not concerned about my problems.
Wow.
Or, like instead of being a cheerleader or somebody that you can count on, like they're off doing their own thing.
Right.
And I just kind of noticed that. Did you notice a lot of that as well? Like that, people maybe came in or that were in your life kind of like fell out of your life, or people that weren't even in your life was like coming in just like, wow, I can't believe like that person was that genuine or that nice or cares so much about me. I don't even know that person like that.
Yeah, I've actually experienced that since the incident. I think when you have any type of situation where you're dealing with your body, like the internal of your bodies, I don't know what takes place, but it's something that happens, right? Like I know people that have had heart, like my mom was talking about a friend that had heart surgery or heart transplant, and how they just seem to be different. And I think that there's, a spiritual basis to it. And then you kind of have a heightened sense of awareness around of certain things. So I've definitely noticed that, like my ability to discern kind of who I should interact with and who I shouldn't interact with. And so if I just get that feeling, I just kind of shy away from a person. And then it seems like as I've, went through the process, it's like I've been fortunate enough to be aligned with people who see something in me, or maybe God had just allowed them connect with me through what I've been through, and they see maybe where I'm going and what I'm trying to do. So it's like aligning the pieces and the dominoes in place for me to walk out the purpose that I have that I'm focused on now.
I was in therapy and I'm going to go back at some point once I heal up. But one of the things that when I was in therapy, my therapist is very big in Christianity. I'm into
Mm-hmm.
Christianity. I'm also really big into spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that what I'm doing before the surgery and stuff was that I was trying too hard to drive the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to just take my hands off, let God do the driving,
Right.
and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
And I always kind of thought about it. And I'm Greek, so I'm hard headed.
Right.
I'm just like whatever, I go do my own thing, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's really true. Like when you get hurt or if you get in a bad situation, you got no real choice. Like
Mm.
because you're in a bad spot,
Yeah.
and you're just like, okay, well, I can't drive, so
Right. I think sometimes it's he forces us to take our hands off the wheels
right,
because he knows what's best for us. And it's funny that you said that. I have a men's group and we meet on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, and we were actually talking about that today. And I made the analogy of like your kids or somebody that you're helping do something, and you show them a couple of times and then they think they got it. And so they'll be like a kid when you're trying to teach them how to tie their shoe. And then, oh, I got it, I got it, I got it. And they're still doing it wrong, right?
right,
But they don't want your help. And then they get up and they fall, and then they turn around like, I need your help. I didn't do this right. So I'm learning in this space of life too, right, is to just fall back and allow things to kind of work out for me. Because if I do the things that I believe that I'm supposed to be doing, he's going to align every chess piece for me, and I'll be able to walk into a door that typically I would run up into resistance against because I was trying to force it open myself.
mm-hmm.
And I would be too tired or too worn out to try to even walk through the door. So that pressure of, even as men, right, we have this pressure to perform. We have this pressure. We put everything on our shoulders, and we think if we don't do it, it's not going to get done. But what I've learned in this process for myself, because even I just navigated like a season of being unemployed for 19 months.
Wow.
I was a sales director at a company that got bought by a private equity firm. They kept us for a certain amount of time, and then at that time, they just started cutting everybody. And, I thought it was going to be pretty quick and easy for me to pick up a job because I've been in sales for the last 15 years. Been very successful, as a matter of fact. President's Club, top performer. So I'm like, I didn't want to go back into management. I said, I just go find me a individual contributor job. And literally, it took 19 months for me to get that job.
Wow.
So in that process, I learned that I had to trust God. Me and my wife didn't miss a mortgage payment.
Wow.
We didn't have many late bills. Now, was it tight some months, especially towards the end? It was very tight.
Mm-hmm.
And the stress of, women like security. My wife needed security of know what's going on. And God is saying to me, if you trust me, I'll take care of you. So it was like the children of Israel in the wilderness when they just got just enough. So I've learned in that season that I just have to take my hands off things and trust that the outcome is going to work for my best benefit.
I think that's the toughest thing.
Oh, yes. Especially when you're a go-getter.
Yeah, because that's what I'm like. I'll be really honest. I'll be like, okay, well, this company isn't working out.
Mm-hmm.
Great, I'll go start another company.
Right.
We're gonna go sell shoes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I don't know a thing about shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Crap. All right, we're gonna go sell, whatever shampoo, right?
Right.
I'll just find something. I'll create something.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I've been doing. Like, if this isn't gonna work right now, then I'll create something else. If this doesn't work, I'll create. Honestly, I just really need to just stop.
Right. Sometimes it's about patience too. Chris.
Yeah.
I've learned that sometimes we say something doesn't work, but we haven't even given it an opportunity to work.
Yeah, or grow.
Yes, or to grow. And
Right.
I found out for me, sometimes I get upset because it's not working out in a timeline or a way that I created in my mind that it was never supposed to work out right.
Mm-hmm.
I have a plan, but God has a plan, right? Have you ever seen the meme with the little girl in the depiction of Jesus
Mm-hmm.
and she has the little bear and he has the big bear behind his hand, and he wants the little bear, but she doesn't want to give the little bear up, and he's like, if you give this up, I'm gonna give you this. You just have to trust it. And so that's what I'm learning in this season is trusting it. So even like I'm building a business where I do like keynote speaking,
Nice.
corporate. I do some leadership training because I've been in leadership since I was about 23 years old. And I literally thought I was going to be able to walk out of corporate with my experience, with my connections, and I would be able to just
Land
boom,
gigs.
land gigs.
Right.
And it was the Sahara Desert for a while. And I'm like, what's going on, man? So, but it's just taught me, right, that I need to stop creating this narrative in my mind. And if I say that I believe in the higher power and I believe in God and I trust God, that what God wants is going to be, but it's also going to be in the design that He has. And then what I've learned too is Nick Saban, right? He talks about this all the time. He talks about the process. He tells the players, don't worry about the scoreboard. You focus on the process. The end of the game, the win, is a result of me trusting the process. So I take that analogy for myself, and I can't worry about what the scoreboard shows. If I just show up in the process, and who I become in that process is actually the prize, because now I'm a person that has the capacity to manage and grow more.
Talk to me a little bit about the AIM framework and Mindset U. I know you touched a little bit about Mindset U, but I know you got the AIM framework. So talk to me a little bit about that.
So the AIM framework is something that I came up with one night. I do a lot of reading and listening to the podcast and reading the Bible because I'm trying to, Jim Rohn says a formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a millionaire. So I always try to just educate myself, and I'm like, what can I do to move my life forward in the simplest, easiest way for me to remember, and something that I could just do on a daily basis. So one night I was thinking about when I was in the military and we would go to the range. And when you first get your weapon, you have to zero the weapon to hit the target.
Right.
And so if you don't adjust the sights, you won't be able to aim and effectively hit the target. And so I came up with the AIM framework, and the A stands for acknowledge. Like acknowledge what you're trying to do, who you're trying to become, or what your deficiencies are. After you acknowledge it, you accept it. Like you accept that I need to change this, or I need to become a better person in this space. And then when I do that, I come up with an action plan. So that's the A. It's acknowledge, accept, action. So once I get an action plan in place, then I move to the I, which is to implement. See, there was a time in my life I had a lot of good ideas, but I didn't implement those ideas. I didn't put them on paper. I didn't execute. So oftentimes they said that a wish not written down is only a wish or something like that, right? I can't remember the exact verbiage, but a goal not written down is only a wish, is what they say. So now I implement the action plan, and I do it intentionally, like with discipline. So every day I get up, like my goal is to work this plan that I have for my life, whether it be personally, whether it be corporately, with physical health. I think you can do that. You can use this plan in any space of your life. So once I implement it with intention, I'm using discipline, then I go to the measurement, right? The M, it stands for measure, my methods. So I measure daily, whatever works for you, weekly, monthly. You measure what you're doing. You analyze if it's actually working, and if it is, then you continue down that path. If it's not, you tweak it, and then you come back and you analyze what you've done. And so it's aim is acknowledge, accept, action, implement with intention, and measure your methods.
I wanted to switch a little bit. I know you got Mindset U. I had a gentleman on the show, and something I really believe in, which is guys hanging out with guys. And I got like a little bit of ribbing online about it, and some people think that maybe they're homophobes or whatever it is, right? But
Right.
like, I have a lot of isolation, and it's self-imposed isolation because I just create and I work a lot,
Right.
and I talked to my therapist about it, and I need to just have hobbies, right? And like stuff that I'm really, really excited about. So it could be that I'm excited about shooting pool or golfing or maybe working out or maybe watching the Cowboys, right? Even though I don't like the Cowboys, right? Whatever it is that
It's
like,
hard to like them right now.
right? But it's like whatever it is that um you have some sort of interest in,
Hmm.
and getting a bunch of guys. And we had a guy that was on the show that, like yourself, that is really into Christianity,
Hmm.
and he built like a brotherhood of Christian brothers, and they just go out and do stuff. Nothing exciting, nothing crazy. Maybe they go shoot the pool. Maybe they go get some wings, whatever it is. Um, and I think that's one of the biggest problems right now with men is that the female. I really don't want to get into male female
Hmm.
stuff, but I think the female drives that feminism drives away guys hanging out with guys
Hmm.
just to hang out.
Right.
Like if it'd be like, hey, me and you're gonna go hang out, we're gonna go eat some wings, watch a game. Oh, I never knew this guy. You never brought him around. What are
Right.
you guys doing? Like, you guys gonna go like look at girls, blah blah blah,
Hmm.
right? And then I think that's the thing that divides a lot of those groups. Talk to me about Man U. Like, is that something similar to that, where you guys get together and not only look at scripture but also go do events and stuff like that?
Yeah, actually, we do. So we meet on Zoom Tuesdays and Thursdays. We actually have a group on Group Me where we can interact with each other. Right, men can check in and say, "I'm struggling with something today. Pray for me. I'm going for a job interview. I need some advice on, something I'm dealing with my wife, my son, or my daughter, or just an issue, right? I think the problem is, there's certain times that you need to be isolated because you can get clarity and you can kind of, quiet the noise. But once you get that clarity, you need that community to help you, right, move forward. Who's holding you accountable? If you're going to make a wrong decision, who's going to say, no, Chris, that's the wrong thing to do. You shouldn't do that. And so that the group that we have that we've created, that's what it's about. It's holding each other accountable. It's like they talk. Everybody always talks about iron sharpening iron, but people don't realize that iron sharpening iron is friction against smoothness.
Right.
So it's that friction to help sharpen that other brother or that man to make sure that they're showing up as the best version of themselves in their home, on their job, in their business, in their relationships. So I think that they're imperative, right? There's certain things. There's a certain amount of camaraderie that your wife can't give you. There's a level of understanding of the issues that you face as a man. If you share it with your wife in some spaces, it might make you look as weak to her,
Yep.
right? But if you get with another brother, right? And in our community, it's a place to be just transparent, um, be yourself, right? You don't have to be dad. You don't have to be this tough guy, right? You can let other brothers see that chink in your armor because sometimes that chink in your armor is the same chink another brother has. And now he's like, I'm not going through this by myself. I got somebody that understands me because we suffer in silence. Men suffer in silence all the time. So we meet via group me. We do events and outings, and then we actually have a conference that I'm doing in March where we're going to come together. First evening is just going to be just us get together, maybe go to Top Golf or do something or putt shack or something that men like to do, right? And I think also is when you are aligned with your purpose and you show up as the best version of yourself, the woman that you're with should trust your judgment and the people that you hang around.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't stop any other man from doing what they do, but I'm at a space where I'm not going to make any man make me do something that I don't want to do.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about me doing what they do. And secondly, at this point in my life, I don't want to be around people that are not elevating themselves anyway. Like the people I'm hanging around, like I'm hanging around people that have the same mindset that I have, a growth mindset. I have a mentor that's several steps ahead of me in life, and so I'm my aspiration is to get where he's at somewhere. And then the other piece is I look behind me and try to grab somebody that looks like me at a certain point in my life because I understand that everything that I went through, I survived it because my assignment is to help the person that used to look like me or the person that looks like me in my younger years.
That's really interesting because I had that guy on the show, and I was suffering from an addiction. I really don't want to get into it, but he
Yes, sir.
suffered from the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking kind of off mic, and I was like, "Hey, like, like I had this issue, and I've talked to a couple other people, and like they had that issue too." And he was like, "Bro, like I had the same issue." And I was like, "Yeah." And then like I stopped doing it, and I stopped like partaking in that, you know, um, in that addiction. And then it was like nothing. Like I was just like, "Oh, that was really stupid. Like I can't believe I get stuck like that." And he was like, "Yeah, I did the same thing."
Right.
And I was like, "What? Like you have a problem with that too?" And it was like really like mind bending to me because I thought I was the only person that had that, and I thought that was completely normal.
Wow.
Like I was just like, "Oh, like I have this issue and this is what I do." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, like I had the same issue and I just did the same thing you did." And I was like, "What?
Right.
That's crazy." And like if I had found him earlier, or if I had been in the group or in his stuff or in a space like you have,
Mhm.
it would have been like, "Chris, brother, like what are you doing, man?
Right.
Like we don't do that kind of stuff."
Exactly.
And
Right.
I've been like, "What?" Or I used to do something like that, but like we don't do that stuff, Chris.
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, how'd you do it?" Like, "What?" And how'd you stop? "Oh, what?" And
Right.
it's wild.
Yeah. And I think the thing is too, like when you get in those spaces and you realize this is no judgment zone, right?
Right.
You feel okay enough to say, I have a problem with this. And then the other person that is suffering in silence with it too and is in shame and doesn't want to admit it. Now they're free to say, I have the same thing too. And I got out of it this way. How did you do it? And now you two can come together and kind of be an accountability system to each other, and that's what, being in community is about as well, right? Is accountability, right? When you say, Chris, you come to me and you say, man, I want to build this business. I want to get in the best shape of my life and I want to, read a book a month. So now you got an accountability, partner that says, hey, where you at with this? You said you wanted to do this.
Right.
Where we at? Why are you not doing it? And then that just makes you remember your why and then you push past it. So that's what it's about, right? Is just being transparent. My goal is, like I said, to help men transform from the older version of themselves, to empower themselves and equip them with the tools to cope in life. Because again, we suffer in silence and we lose far too many men suffering in silence.
I agree. I've lost a lot of friends that commit suicide. I was in some dark places before,
I've been there.
and all I really needed was just, "Hey, man, like, you all right?
All right, you good, bro?
Hey, like, you want to go lift some weights?
Right.
Hey, like, you want to go whatever? Like, I got this new Xbox game, even though I'm not really into Xbox or
Right.
whatever. Like, why don't you come over?
Yeah.
Stop thinking about what you're thinking about.
Right.
Like, come over."
Yeah, take your mind off your problems. Right.
Right.
Right. That's a good thing. And I've been there too, right? When I tell you I suffer from PTSD and anxiety.
Right.
So I actually went through probably the first 10 to 12 years of my life after I got shot, not even knowing that I had PTSD.
Mm.
And so I'm replaying the incident like a movie.
Yeah.
At night. I can't sleep.
Right.
I literally got to a point where I would just drink myself to sleep.
Mm.
Like just have a couple shots just so I can go to sleep, not realizing that that's not doing any good.
Right.
Now I'm dependent on alcohol, and then I'm in a dark place and I'm making bad decisions and doing things that don't, is not a representation of who I wanted to be. But I didn't really have a community to talk to. I really didn't know or feel safe enough to say this is my problem. And I came up in the era where, like, in my community, like when you talked about a therapist and mental health, like, are you crazy?
Yeah,
Are you
same here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
You soft?
yeah. Why?
Right.
Who you want to talk? Why? We don't talk about what goes on.
Right.
Yeah, it stays in the house.
Right.
Right. So,
Carlton, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, wanted to talk to you more about your programs, maybe the men's group, where would they reach out to you?
they can reach me at I am 8020 Nation at I am 8020 Nation on Instagram. They can go to my website, www.carlton carlton-young.com. Again, that's www.carlton-young.com, and send me a message. And then you can go to my YouTube channel, which is at I am 8020 Nation as well, and leave a message there. You can shoot me a DM on Instagram as well, and we'll chat and we'll get you connected to the community. You can go to the website. It'll have an update of the men's event that we're getting ready to do. So if you want to connect, please do.
CY, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.